Alright everyone, welcome back into Guildcraft. Today, we're looking a little more at the building aspect of things. I've done a tiny little bit of building on this server, but with access to all of the cool tools that Java allow me, such as you can see, Litematica and Axiom for actually preparing things in creative, I've decided now is the time where I can really hone my skills as a builder. Having this nice and convenient material list from something I have, of course, built on creative previously, it is now time that we can kind of look into building one of the first in a series of buildings I have planned. See, Guildcraft is supposed to be a server all about small communities and where they go in the future. But the future means little without the context of the past. So, as a storyteller myself, I think it might be smart to give this server a little bit of history. So that's what I'm going to do here. As you can see, I mainly stone palette for a kind of ruined kind of base look. So we can end up with this little ancient guild hall, as I will be calling it. So there are a lot of things to gather. I've been pulling up the material list as we speak, and it's quite long with a bunch of different coral blocks on it being the big names on the list, as I will have to go back to the same warm ocean I went to last episode. But that is all fine and good. At least I don't have to find the warm ocean again, so we will be at least on a bit better footing. So I think this would make an amazing first build to make a kind of ancient history on this server. And it kind of reframes the whole server and prepares us for going forward. Look at the past before you look towards the future. So, after gathering most of the materials, I am going to, of course, need to go grab some more stone blocks and the dead coral. I want to talk a bit about the server as a whole. As you hopefully already know, this is a 7-episode at the time of recording series, which is completely open to application. Now, if you want to apply to join, you can do so in the Discord server linked below. I've also begun live streaming this server, so you can get a bit more behind the scenes on how exactly this works, although the live streams do tend to be riddled with a bit more profanity than the videos, so just be warned before you go over there, which will also be linked in the description. So, there's a lot that you can do if you want to participate in this server yourself, whether it's in the community around it or actually in the server itself. I will be streaming over on Twitch a lot. I will be probably building in creative a lot over there. That I streamed building a little base on the server for the first ever stream on the Chaos Code Twitch channel, because I just like Twitch a little more than YouTube when it comes to this kind of thing. So if you want to check us out over there, please feel free to do so. Or if you want to show your support here on YouTube, please go and watch any of the episodes you haven't already, or you could even like and subscribe, comment, so we can boost this series to the public eye more than it already has been, quite fortunately. The numbers have been ludicrous, and I do want to thank everybody who's watched for that. But going back to the server, as you can see, I'm mining down a little bit here. We are creating a bit of a space where we can get stone, although I think I've hit every stone variant except for stone on the way down. So, without further ado, let's get into a bit of a time lapse where we can go ahead and gather all of the resources we need to start this build. And now, after almost an hour of work gathering materials and traveling, we have made it back to the warm ocean, here to gather all of the coral that we need to actually create this build. I'm going to grab as much as I can while I'm here, while not going too much over, because my pockets are only so deep without shulker boxes. But luckily, that's what I kind of wanted to talk to you about today, because we're actually going to be taking on the dragon next episode, and finally getting access to both elytras and shulker boxes, giving us the ability to build a lot more on the server, and also engage in a bit more shenanigans once more people join. Speaking of, you should apply to join in the Discord. So, working towards such, we also have to keep in mind that other people are going to want the very valuable resources from the end, and we're not exactly sure, as the well keepers, who to trust at this time. Sure, we used to have a decent alliance with Triple Baka, but now that they've kind of ended up as more of a duo, we don't know what's happened to Draconic and Yokai, and whether or not we should trust them with what we are about to do. So, trust is still up in the air, but the end fight will be happening during episode 8. That I can guarantee. So, until then, it's time to get back to work. Let's gather up the rest of this coral and go back to the guild hall. So now, making our way back towards the build, with all of the coral in hand now, and all of the other stone blocks already farmed up, we can make our way back to the big blue box over there, where our build is situated. This is why I love Litematica, because this build not only served as an actual place, but also a waypoint, because the box is visible from anywhere in the world, apparently. So that's kind of nice. But we make our way over, and through the schematic, it's time that we can finally get our first block placed. And I think coral would be fitting, because it was the hardest to get. So, with that first block placed, it's time to finally go ahead and start building the first guild hall. And I do apologize for the weird whitewashing on the replay, but with that, this is the cathedral finally done, whatever you want to call it. I've been calling it the guild hall. I don't know. I just heard cathedral in the video I was watching while editing this, so that's the word I used. But whatever it is now finally done. It serves not as an actual functional building, but as a remnant of what was. It has been taken not by nature, but by the sheer wear on the building. There's no moss here, except for pale moss, but we won't count that. There's no greenery, it's just erosion that has led to this being in the state. As you can see, I have multiple pillars that are broken. All of them have their faults, and I really think this build has a lot of character in it, along with just being a piece of ruins. Now, this is actually going to be the first part of a far deeper story that it's time we begin weaving, but I'm not going to tell you everything about it. You'll have to catch the live streams, be a part of the Discord if you want the full story, and even be a member if you want to read even deeper into it. But that being said, there is slowly but surely a story brewing about the history of this world. So, with this being a ruin and all, and I don't want it to look like an actual base, it's time to go ahead, take all of my stuff, clean this area up, so we can go ahead and move out. So we can leave this here as a monument, as a structure for other people to come across naturally. So, with that, I think I'm going to go ahead, move out all of my stuff, and start preparing for the end fight next episode. I thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really does help out this channel and specifically this series a ton. I really think this is some of my best work, so I really do want to push it out to as many people as possible, and to a certain degree, you, the viewer, are the only royal person who has the power to get this seen by thousands. So, if you would please consider trying your best, whether it's just a few button clicks or if it's actually sharing it through a Discord or joining the Discord, please consider helping out, because I am struggling here on YouTube, but it's almost been a year of doing said struggle. But if you did enjoy, please come back for more. There's 6 more episodes and probably at least 10 more to come, and that's the lowest number that is possible. But I don't want to keep you waiting any longer. So with that, thank you for watching, and goodbye from everyone.